let's start with our warrant articles. Nate, wanna walk us through them?
Absolutely. All right, have you all had a moment to review them outside of this meeting? So I will show, if you look up there, I do have the Citizens Guide to Special Town Meeting posted. This is something that I started doing when I first got here last year, and it is getting better every time.
Yeah.
So this one's a little better than the last one, and we can only hope they go from here. You guys are all in very good understanding of what town meeting is, so we will skip that part. Article 1 is moving money around to get us to where we can cover the school assessment at the fully funded school assessment and $12,000 that we did not anticipate in the liability insurance assessment.
Oh, okay.
It came in after town meeting.
Oh, all right.
My proposal this year is to do that with no cuts, just by moving monies around from line items that did not utilize the funds to the line that does need it. It's $2,000 from fire wages due to a longevity stipend that was actually paid out in FY '23. It pains my heart to propose this, but the last $50,000 of that debt that had run its course and was set to be in the budget, I did want to maintain that $50,000 to make an additional payment on a fire truck this year, and then use it to get a new large piece of capital debt in FY '25. But I cannot in good faith propose making cuts to services or personnel while I know there's $50,000 tucked
Sitting
away
there.
for a capital item. Assessor service, there was $2,000 between the $10,000 that we paid RRG to do it last year and the $8,000 that we're paying Candace Livingston, the town clerk, to do it this year. That's just the clerk services. She's not the town clerk and the assessor. She's like an administrative aide. Veterans benefits, there are currently no Chapter 115 benefit eligible veterans. The formula is very much in favor of renters, and there are not many renters in Hubbardston. Like, it's actually, you need to be a renter to get Chapter 115. You can't own your own home.
Oh, okay.
Liability insurance, and on the other side, the liability
That's the bump.
insurance came in $12,280 over what we had budgeted. Education, we shorted the assessment at annual town meeting by $69,640.79. And then, I don't know why this wasn't with the other ones, Travis has been operating 2 positions down all summer.
He
Oh,
still
okay.
has the sign out though, looking.
I'll tell you about that after, I guess.
All right. All right, so that balances, so that's that. Okay. Oof, what would we have done without that 50 grand?
It wouldn't have been pretty. It would have been very similar to last year, and last year did take a lot of the,
Last year was gross.
last year took a lot of the fat out of the accounts, the limited fat that there was.
Yeah,
And we would have had enough free cash to cover this. This is not proposing any additional use of free cash outside of we actually brought down the number used at annual town meeting if this proposal goes through from.
oh, good, oh, all right,
Not by
okay.
much.
All right,
Alright. Article 2 is amending the vote taken at June 2023 annual town meeting to fully fund the school assessment.
okay, well, right, cause we did this separately, yes,
Yep.
okay, got it, all right.
Article 3 and Article 4 are tied together. So in June of 2023 at the annual town meeting, the way we did the cable advisory committee money was as one warrant article, when in reality we should have done it as 2, and we didn't know that until we went to spend it. Because Article 3 puts money towards the benefits, salaries, committee stipends, and operating expenses for FY '24 right now. And Article 4 was for, last
From
year, the
last year.
cable committee approved buying new cameras, and Brittany Blaney Anderson, the director, bought them out of pocket. And then the account went under when she invoiced us, so we retroactively had to pay back that deficit. So,
We are not allowing that behavior going forward, are we?
no,
Alright, how did that happen in the first place?
because that's not taxpayer money, and she's technically a vendor. So when I say out of pocket, it's not like me buying it, it's a company buying it, selling it the same way we do with, say, CM Geeks, our tech company.
Yeah, but it still screws everything up.
It
It's
can,
still-
it has, and having the knowledge that I have now, no, we would not let that happen.
Okay.
And I do not know why that purchase was not run through Kelly, the town accountant, because she usually has to sign any and all contracts to just say, yep, that money's there,
Yeah,
here's
that's what
my.
I was thinking, there should have been some information
Some
before just
controls.
going and purchasing it. What if she would have purchased more expensive cameras?
Right. So is this an error on the part of our,
I wouldn't say it was an error. COVID cranked our cable numbers up way higher than they were before COVID, with now recording everything. And for some time, including 2023, FY 2023, the numbers were kept the same, like clockwork, every
Mhm.
year. So it was a variety of issues, not just that one. So the numbers were high, and the purchase was made, and the committee didn't check to make sure that there were enough funds in the account to fund the purchase prior to Brittany ordering them, so,
is the committee begging forgiveness?
no.
Yeah, that's okay, that's what I wanted to know, alright, so,
I'd be shocked to know that the committee knows about this. Like.
What?
so, yeah. It's all a back end thing. They bought their cameras. The committee is Al Alfonso and Gary Kangas,
oh,
so.
alright.
That's article number 4.
So you were planning on explaining this in the town meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I also plan on explaining that there are 0 taxpayer
Right.
dollars being
Yeah.
used.
Yeah, why don't we
Definitely need to
make the
clarify
committee,
that.
why don't we make the committee explain it?
And I also would like to explain it a little more broadly without placing as much blame as I may have just done on the floor of the town meeting, so now that you pointed that out, I'll write something up where it's.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Article number 5
Hey.
is, I actually have to look into article number 5 for reasons that Heather Monroe pointed out last night. But Article 5 as written is one day in June we came here and there was no water. And the school system then patched the water pump for $3,000. And the threshold for which the school system or the town pays for something at Hubbardson Center School is $5,000. Maybe a week later, we came back to work and there was no water again. So they had to replace the whole pump. Having already paid the $3,900, almost $4,000, the whole pump cost $6,991 over the $5,000 threshold. So we are required to pay that. What I have to find out is not if, basically it's all language. It's because this was June 23rd of FY '23, do I have to change the language and turn this into a prior year bill?
Right, cause this doesn't really speak to a year
No.
at all.
No.
Yeah. Alright,
But-
Okay.
So, we paid $3,000?
Nope, the school paid
Schools paid the
$3,000.
3,
Okay, so they paid the 3 and then we had to pay the 69.91.
So the second visit, so there were like 2 visits,
Yeah.
and the first visit was what they took care of. is-
$3,500, it was a patch job, and then when it broke less than a month later, they had to replace the whole pump, cause all of the town
Which is the
buildings
69.
and Hubbardston Center School are on the same
Right.
water system.
And the second visit was basically 69.91,
Yep.
which will be paid by the town.
Yep,
By
should be paid
us.
at the town.
Yeah. Alright, so you're gonna fix that somehow, okay. Alright. What is this?
Article 6, do you guys know what tailings are?
What are?
What
Or
tailings are?
like in a treasurer collector's office, or basically the findmassmoney.com.
Yep.
So there is a local version of that, and without accepting Mass General Law, Chapter 200A, Section 9A, disposition of abandoned funds by a city or town, we have to go through Find Mass Money. And a lot of the checks for tailings are $5, $10. So this allows the treasurer
Oh.
collector to post notice and do A, B, C, and D, and then just throw the money back into the general account.
Oh, alright, okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
And if we're being completely honest, it's the way they were operating before,
Oh.
and this is just kind of retroactively catching up.
Very good.
And then I
Alright.
threw in a nice picture of me and Candace.
Yay, very good. Alrighty.
Is that photoshopped?
No?
There was a silver lining around
Yeah.
it.
That's right, somebody's been going to the gym.
Not the last couple days.
Alright, any questions on any of the warrant articles for us? Alright, let's vote to approve them all together unless anybody has any squawks about one in particular. No?
Nope.
Alright, good. How about a motion to recommend articles, where are we, 1 through 6? Yeah.
Make
Okay,
motion.
thanks, alright, any discussion, all in favor, aye, that's that. Wonderful, alright. Other new business and matters not anticipated by the chair. The chair has been away and is not anticipated anything,
I
so
gave
what
you
is
something
cooking?
to anticipate.
Yes, tell us about this.
So the Chief Kuchar, wanted to do a transfer from one of his police lines to another to go on a training trip to, I believe, San Diego, but the asterisk there is he's on that trip right now. So
I'm sensing a pattern here.
that already has the signatures of the chief, myself, and Chair Williams.
Yes, alright, everybody sign it except us. $3,246.72.
What is
So
this
that's
for
for
again?
training?
So for some training in San
San
Diego.
Diego.
What's he learning? IACP conference,
The International
something or other.
Chief Police.
Chiefs of police. Alright, so they're all swanking around out in San Diego, and I did not go to San Diego on my junket, so, okay. Alright, that sounds good to me, motion to approve it? Okay, second, alright, all in favor, aye. Alright, approved.
Other than that, things are going okay. I released the Q1 expenditure and revenue report today.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's okay. The only thing that is kind of wonky is the insurances line, because we pay that early
Right.
on in the year.
Right.
So everything else is right around 25% on in a account or two, 26, 28. Nothing is wild or off quite yet.
Okay, that sounds good. tell us more about your, I forgot the name of it. Your revenue enhancement committee.
Oh, the structural deficit working
Yeah,
group?
those guys, yeah, tell us
We've-
who are they?
we've
Who's on the committee?
We've met twice so
Good.
far,
Yeah.
and the first time had a broad discussion. The second time talked about kind of buckets we could place in to do revenue explorations. The next meeting will be doing the same with expenditures, saying like, oh, what realistically could take some slimming, what could not, and they're gonna come to learn relatively quickly that there is
Nothing.
not a lot to
Wiggle around.
potentially cut from. It
Mhm.
is Francois Steiger,
Yep,
Brett Duncan. He was on the town center committee. He's a
Oh.
firefighter slash teacher.
oh, okay, all right,
And a gentleman named Tim Hawley,
okay,
Hawley. He was on open space. He's relatively new to the community,
okay,
but comes with a background in finance.
okay. Why isn't he on the finance committee? Learn all those guys on the finance committee.
Francois is on planning.
Francois
No, I
is
know
an
he is, I
elected.
know he is.
I think a lot of people steer away from finance because of the whole you can't do anything else. He could technically do the structural deficit working group because it is appointed by me and not the select board.
Yeah,
So there's technically no appointment per se, it's just a working group.
right, okay, all right.
And have there been any more meetings about that affordable housing committee at all? I know there was
No,
one. No,
she sent me a voicemail yesterday asking for information, so there will be
Okay.
Okay.
things coming. There will be a capital meeting in the next month. Just have to get all that dolled up and written up. So, nobody took advantage of my, hey, I'm gonna open capital improvement requests to the entire town. I was kind of hoping someone would at least throw me a bone and say, hey, I really want this wild project, but they didn't. So I'll advertise it a couple more times between now and the final version of the CIPC, but
Okay,
it is what it is for now.
all right, okay, good. So, let's see, how long have you been with us?
Almost 1 year.
What have you learned?
A ton. Possibly more than I've ever learned in my life. But no, it grows on each other because this year everything is a little easier than it was last year.
Yeah,
Just because I'm not recreating the wheel on absolutely everything. When I came in, I didn't want to just take Ryan's forms and go from there, so I've been recreating everything. I hope to establish a set of standard operating procedures for the community in the event one of these massive turnovers happens again, because I found that coming in was incredibly difficult because you had to train and still are training employees that were going along to get along and just doing the best that they could do. There wasn't a standard format for how to do a lot of these things,
oh, okay,
because you can figure out most of the stuff, but can you figure it out in a way that someone else is going to be able to look at and move forward? So
okay,
it's going to take some time, but I plan on being here for some time, so
okay,
yeah, that's a project I'm working on a couple different levels with staff and with the select board. We're reviewing all of the policies right now, and
okay,
we received a training and technological efficiencies
yeah,
grant.
I saw that, yeah, how are you gonna spend it?
I have to, so as with most state grants, they make you take on a consultant. So that'll be a large part of that, but one of them is creating a 5-year plan based upon the job descriptions that will offer training to the different incumbents in those positions and do $15,000 worth of training. I'm hoping that that's a lot. The other side is a efficiencies in tech grant, because I went and said, hey, we don't have a ton of bandwidth with all of these emerging technologies. I'd be willing to look into how we can use some of these new advancements to not get rid of people, but take things off of their plate and rearrange their plate. So, and I'm hoping in terms of a couple of my staff members have jokingly said like, oh, you're gonna sign the whole town up for AI, and that's not the case. There's not process implementation software, there's not tracking systems, and that's another thing for when I got here, people were coming in and attempting to say, oh, this is a new issue. Should have been able to look into a database and say, oh no, so-and-so has complained about this issue 7 times over the last 10 years. And
Oh.
that kind of stuff's not in place, and that's,
So you're trying to make like a reporting system?
yeah. Or even just creating better processes in terms of department to department, like if there are ways to implement emerging technologies such as AI into that, sure. Like I made sure to put that into the bottom of the application for the grant, just in case we can figure something out, because there are plenty of people trying to figure out ways where all the different fields can meet with the emerging technologies, but we'll see how that goes. I'm meeting with the Collins Center in the beginning of November.
Oh, okay, so they're
Who
back.
are you meeting again?
They're back again.
Who is that?
The Collins Center is I'm gonna just be honest, the favored consultant of this grant program because it's a arm of UMass. And they have different departments, and their whole job is going out and helping municipalities do things that they may not have the staff or bandwidth to do so. Think comp studies. That's how this had originally started. This was a giant comp study kind of company at first, and now they're going in different directions. Some things they do really well, other times there have been negative experiences. So I'm hoping,
I see. I'm into technology.
yeah. So we'll see. I do have the option that if I meet with them and don't love what they're saying, to put it out for procurement instead of going directly with them. But they did help write the application, so I feel.
Will that be a recorded meeting or is that a private meeting between you guys?
No, that'll just be me and them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, the chief got a number of smaller grants, as he usually does this time of year, for the different safety concerns and the different road work. Chief Kuchar and Travis are both away this week, so that's been
Okay.
fun. We
Yeah.
picked up the ambulance that was purchased through the capital planning and ARPA funds.
Oh, good.
We're waiting for it to go through the registry at this point, and then
Great.
they have to put radios in it, and then it'll be good to hit the road.
And what's
Good.
happening to the other, did that get traded in or?
Nope, the DPW is going to take it and turn it into a roadside service vehicle for the mechanic. We would have only gotten about, I think Chief said $1,500 to $2,000 for it anyhow, so.
And is there any benefit of giving it to DPW? Are we giving it? Are they buying it? Or are...
Internal transfers like that, they wouldn't buy it. The mechanic is driving, have you seen like that old blue truck?
Yep.
That's what Neil drives now, so we're replacing that, like.
Yeah, that's what, a nineties, early
Yeah.
nineties.
Jeez.
Yeah, and they're gonna retrofit it and put the tools in it, so it'll be helpful in the event something happens.
Makes sense.
Okay,
You know, other than that, things have been going alright.
alright, good.
Oh, DPW. I don't know why I had RMV in mind when you said DPW.
Yeah, no, the Department of Public Works.
Sorry. I had totally come.
We are back up to fully staffed at the DPW. We keep the sign because one of the people is still out on injury. So.
Still out on leave?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt to get a couple of applications in. I attempted to do a memo of understanding with the DPW union to get them more money. they ended up turning it down over very, very limited amounts of money. So, we have to work together. The DPW union and the police union contracts are both up at the end of this year.
Okay.
So, at an upcoming meeting, I will likely have updates for you. I'm meeting with the police union in October,
Mm-hmm.
on the 25th. Meeting with the police union next
Yeah,
week.
yeah, that's
And
next
the
week.
DPW union after the whole MOU agreement, I said, hey, we'll talk in January.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So I'll meet up with them in January to discuss how to continue our disagreement.
Oh, alright.
The DPW is traditionally not treated as well as police and fire, so.
Oh, there's no surprise. Okay.
Mary's doing well. Kelly's hybrid thing is still working out for the community.
Okay, good.
There are some times that we wish the accountant was here, but that's neither here nor there. She does put in the hours and the work gets done, so.
Okay, good.
You wish she was here, why, because a question comes up, or?
Yeah, or if you want something really fast and you can't just walk into the next office and say, hey. But she answers the phone during the hours she says she's gonna answer the phone, so.
More than I do. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and Mary's killing it. She got a really good 6-month review, ended up giving her a little more than we had initially agreed upon because of the amount she's been going above and beyond.
Oh, good. Okay. Great.
Other than that, things are the same.
All right. Hey, that's great. Excellent. All right, anybody got anything else? We all good? Motion to adjourn? What is it? 6:56.